When I heard that Hurricane Irma was headed straight for the Caribbean, I was worried about a tiny island called Jost Van Dyke. A few years earlier, I had sailed to Jost and was positive I had found paradise. There were hammocks between palms, the sea was this glimmering aqua color, and there was this amazing tiki bar owned by a man named Foxy who wanted to save the island from development. I pleaded with the universe, take the touristy islands, but please, please spare Jost. The news wasn't good. 160-mile-per-hour winds, Category 5, Jost got hit hard. There was no news from anyone on the island. Closer to home, 17 wildfires were burning up the forest. Global warming was destroying every place I loved, and all I could do was send money. A few months later, the island said it was good to have tourists come visit, so I bought a plane ticket. Most of the hotels were gone, so I paid a sailor to stay on his boat. He took me to one harbor over from where Foxy's bar was, and the surf was too big to take the dinghy in. So I put on a waterproof backpack and swam in, and then I walked over the mountain toward Foxy's. What I saw next was post-apocalyptic. Where there once had been bubblegum pink, sunny yellow, mint green houses, there were now only cinder blocks. There were piles of debris, white survival tents dotting the hillside, graves upturned, the medical clinic gone, the customs dock gone. I didn't want to keep going on, but I forced myself to walk all the way to Foxy's, not positive if it would be there. And when I got to the end of the road, I saw his bar, and there were already some tourists there starting early on happy hour. The BBC was broadcasting a public service announcement telling residents to prepare for the next hurricane season only a month away. Locals visibly tensed. I asked someone where I might find Foxy, and they told me to go upstairs. And he was up there sitting on a stool, strumming a guitar. He didn't remember me and smiled, asked where I was from. I told him I was from North Carolina, and he played a ditty about preferring girls from North Carolina to ones from South Carolina. And after we'd been talking for a while, I asked him, "Were you here for the hurricane?" And he said, "Of course. Where else was I going to be? This is home." I asked, "Did you lose a lot?" A cloud of sadness passed over his face. "The school I built is gone." He asked me if I wanted to go see what he was working on, and I followed him behind the bar to a terraced hillside. He pointed to it and said, "This is my garden. When you plant a seed, you have to tend to it, to water it. I'm growing it for those who are creeping and those not yet born. One day, they are going to be so proud of their island." It took me a minute to realize that those who are creeping meant toddlers who couldn't yet walk. What Foxy didn't tell me was how when the government didn't send relief funds, he turned his bar into a place where people could come eat, and he gave people food and money to get back on their feet. And these days, when I get overwhelmed with how bad things have gotten, and it's quite often, I think about Foxy. I think about growing something, tending to others. Well, I still can. Thank you.